So, welcome, my sisters. I'm so filled with joy to greet you for this first Lioness of Light Oracle Within session, this birthing that we are journeying through and connecting with one another, with our sisters that are able to join live and our sisters that will be joining through watching the replays. And indeed, you are also, of course, welcome to watch a replay too, if you find particularly one or other of the sessions really speaks for you. And very excited to share that there are 55 of us lionesses joined for this journey, and what a number to begin with. The number of the star lines, number 5, double 5. Apparently it's a Fibonacci code, which you can look into if you're not familiar with. It's about transformation, new beginnings, and it has the 1 and the 0 contained within it. And then, in fact, with myself, it comes to 56. So between us, we are activating the gateway and the starline code and so much. So what a beautiful circle of activation to begin together and to take into ourselves the magic. So through this journey, we will be immersing into the 17 key oracle codes of the Lioness of Light Oracle. And as we know, there are 52, but we are going to be moving into the key archetypes or imprints of spirit. Some of them will be, quite perhaps emotional. Others will feel more celestial, lighter. So each meditation will take us into one of these different aspects. And of course, there are unlimited aspects to our beingness, spirit embodied in matter. But we will really be going into the matter of ourselves, of our life, of our humanness. With the lioness, the golden lioness that I share in the welcome introduction video, very much our kind of starry guide, and knowing that as she does, it's through the embodiment of the matter of who and that which we are, and the landscape of our life and the inner landscape we carry in connection with our starry origin and the wonderment and the kind of divine essence of purity that we are, that when we are able to step into this beautiful totality of acceptance, deep acceptance, and being with the all, that we are even greater freed to embody our sovereignty in union within the lionesses of light that we are, and hold and walk with ourselves, and then touch in with all that is of sentience in nature, in our cosmic universe, to really be the bridges of this awakening of consciousness that we so long for, and that we are activating even more rapidly at this time. And I honor each of you for your own sacred journeys, your own sacred mystery, and the all that you are within and in your life, the way you touch and reach out to others and share, the essence and the truth and the courage of all that you are. So blessings. So we begin. Firstly, I would just like to say that with the meditation journeys, sometimes you may feel a bit vulnerable or a bit, intense. So self-care. So at the end of each session, please, because this is not interactive, and sometimes the numbers joining live would be so many that we wouldn't be able to connect with everyone on that personal level, to sometimes debrief or integrate a little more. So each of you, I know, will have your own resources to just stay perhaps in silence for a little while after the completion of each session, to allow a little bit of space before you re-enter, you know, daily life, if it's at that time of the day for you. Perhaps to have a flower essence or a special tea that you drink, light a candle, journal, draw something that just further honors the experience you've had, and whatever it may have touched on or awakened or reawakened, that may be both tender and maybe also, you know, very light. So just the integration phase and the self-care for further incorporation and honoring. And I know that each of you will have your own way of doing this. So that's just something to remember each time. And as I said, the experiences will vary as we journey through, touching in more directly with the lioness quality, fully embodied, and at other times, other elements and archetypal imprints of spirit through the key oracles that reach into other aspects of our beingness, but ultimately all come in to hold and greater activate and embody that lioness of light being that we are. So today we begin with sitting with the grandmother, entering into the root, the ground, the deep ground of the grandmother. Now, this grandmother is not necessarily, although she may be, come through a connection with grandmother of your ancestry. She may be grandmother energy that you have never made contact with before, one who carries different qualities, perhaps a fusion of star energy, lion energy, elephant, kangaroo, bird, winged one. So just allow the way she comes through to be that which she is, letting go attachment to outcome, connecting into that deep place of the grandmother, the place from which we begin in terms of our embodiment, incarnate on this beautiful planet Earth. And knowing that through doing so, we are also honoring the grandmother of every species, every quality of nature. All the grandmothers in every shape and form, we honor. The grandmothers of the stars, of the sun, of the waters, all the elements, all the animals, all the plants, all the insects, praying mantis, the grandmother of the praying mantis, and our own bloodline of grandmothers, the grandmothers of the stellar beings, the grandmother of our earth, our living, breathing earth. So first I'm going to read to you from the oracle the seed essence, then the voice of spirit, then the counsel, and then I'm going to guide us through our own journey, our meditation, for you to make contact with your own inner oracle of the grandmother. Sitting with the grandmother. Seed essence. The old woman sits before me, touching my hand, holding me in her gaze. The ancestral lineage of grandmothers pouring into my heart. Her patience, born of endless rounds of time and living, love born of birthing and dying. She witnesses all. She has been all. She is all. I want her to teach me. I pray I will grow into her. The voice of her spirit. It is time now to sit with me. I am you. I have always been here. I always will be. Whispering to you those things you already know deep within. Through the gifts I want to pass on to you, you will remember your strength and the path that is yours. So while you may feel alone, know you are held by those who have gone before, through ancestral or star lineage. And now we receive her counsel. Take time now to be still, to rest and go within, to touch the earth. Be secure in knowing the way will be shown as you allow sacred knowledge to come to you through the presence of the one who listens. She turns not from any burdens or suffering you carry, or things buried deep within. She receives with love and not judgment all you bring to her. She encourages you to enter fully the landscape of your feelings and counsels you to not be afraid of your fears or your sense of inadequacy. This is the blessing and the burden of your humanness. With loving compassion, be still and listen to the counsel of the grandmother as she takes your hand in hers, and know that the journey of healing begins when the depth of your truth is allowed to be felt. This is the way of becoming keeper of the beauty and tenderness of life and all its mysteries. This is the way to know compassion and how to hold the all. This is the way to become steadfast unto yourself. And now we begin our journey. So just taking a breath or two. You might even want to lay down if it's comfortable, perhaps closing your eyes. And begin in your mind's eye, through your senses, however most naturally comes to you, the experience, the inner experience of walking through a beautiful landscape. Noticing the ground underneath your feet as you take each step. It might be a landscape you are familiar with. It may be a landscape that just begins to come to you. So it might be hard, dry earth underneath your feet, or soft grasses, or sand. Notice the plants around you, the quality of the air as you breathe in and breathe out. The quality of the light, any animals or birds in the distance. Paying attention with all your senses to the experience of walking through this landscape where you feel completely safe. This is your own garden, your own wilderland, your own landscape of becoming, of deep connection, of safety. And as you walk, you begin to notice up ahead in the distance, there is a figure seated with her back facing you on the ground. And you know that she is waiting for you. And so you slowly make your way toward her. And as you come closer, you hear her say, "I have been waiting for you." She speaks this with such quietude and love. And as you arrive in front of her, seated on the ground, she raises one hand to greet you and looks up at you with her eyes and beckons you to sit beside her on the blanket or the bare earth, on a stone. You sit and you begin to take in her presence, this grandmother, perhaps noticing that her features carry different qualities. Perhaps she has a partial look of a lion or a star being or a very old, wise being with a mix of different features. However it is, what you most recognize through her presence is this deep, unconditional regard for you, this loving kindness, steadfastness. And she takes your hands in hers and you sit facing one another now. And as you do so, you begin to feel even more deeply in a place within yourself of such great ease. No need for protection, armoring, as if the whole body of yourself is able to finally come to rest, to just be in the space, in the loving arms of this wise ancient one who welcomes you, who invites you, in fact, to bring forth every aspect of the all that you are in this moment. No need to hold anything in contraction or disconnection or judgment. In fact, her counsel is, my dear, be with me in the all that you are, and know that that which you are, I am also. And together we have ever been this one. And you begin to feel your breath now harmonizing with her breath. Together you breathe slowly. You can feel everything, every cell within your body, within all aspects of your being, settling into this deep rhythmic union, oneness, equanimity, recognition of your ancient being sitting with the grandmother. And I invite you now to take a little bit of time to sit in silence with the grandmother, to allow yourself to receive all that she wishes to transmit to you, to gift you. It may be a sense of pure energy, no words, or perhaps it may be a song or a memory or a vision. Just allowing and trusting whatever arises and is transmitted now through the grandmother, even the simplicity of just being in her presence. This is the sacred medicine. So taking some time now. And now, feeling again the quality of your hands being held by the hands, the weathered hands of the grandmother, the warmth or dryness of her skin, and the sense of strength, the gentle strength of her bones as she holds your hands in hers. Palpable, her physical presence. That is the presence of our mother, our grandmother Earth, and all of nature. This ancient quality of eternal presence, born of birthing and dying and birthing again, weathering, having been weathered, and yet this quality of light, this iridescence, this radiance of light that all of nature transmits and that is within each of us because we are a part of nature. We are of the grandmother. And so before you prepare to take your leave of the grandmother in this moment, looking again once more into her eyes, receiving the loving light that is of you, ever present within you and ever present around you in the stars, in that deep night sky. And finding a way to give thanks to the grandmother in this moment. as she receives your gratitude and your love as you have received hers. And then you slowly stand up and once more bowing in love to the presence of the grandmother, you begin to take your leave, walking back the same path that you took. Knowing that as you walk, of course, you are carrying the grandmother within you, and you are within her. Just as the golden lioness walking, it is the same. She holds the grandmother within, and the grandmother holds her. With such dignity, grace, sovereignty in union. So bringing your awareness now fully back, slowly and gently, into your body as we sit here together. The weight of your body resting on the earth. Taking the breath in and the breath out. And knowing that throughout the week ahead, you might like to really consciously take a few moments to connect with sitting with the grandmother and what it feels like to sit in that space of the ancient one, of the elder, who is able to welcome you, the all of you, every aspect of how you might be feeling in that moment. She turns not away or rejects or casts out any aspect. With your sorrow she grieves, and with your joy she is joyous, and all is one. And offering ourselves this gift, we are further deepened, grounded, and able to, hold with full acceptance and loving compassion the all that we are. And as we do that, there our radiance and our sovereignty in union can bring itself forth ever the greater and feel that in union with all. My beautiful Pleiadian gourd rattle, I made her many, many years ago, and it's actually only today, through our first session, that she is truly being activated and coming in to joyous communion. So taking a little bit of time as you re-enter your daily life, or perhaps you might be moving into the evening, and if that is so, then rest well and dream well. And I look forward to being with you next week for our session, our second Lioness of Light Oracle within imprint of spirit, which will connect us to the sun, to our sun. So many blessings, and thank you so much for joining with me. Our 55 lionesses activating this beautiful journey together, this birthing. And may you journey well this week in the loving space of the grandmother and the all that she is deeply desiring to remind you of, to walk with you in greater consciousness. So many blessings, and I look forward to being with you next week. Blessings.